Loktar, friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, everyone's favorite orc warrior, and it's another orc mode workout, and I'm glad today's squats went good because I went ahead and started slowly working cardio back in yesterday. I had to quit doing it early in this daily squatting program. I had still been doing lists every day. I quit doing it. That probably did account for some of my early weight gain on this program. And again, I managed to drop a decent amount though without doing any. And so I've started working a little bit back in just for my overall health, just for overall higher energy turnover. And I just wanted to see how it would affect me today, and my squats were the same as yesterday. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing, which means as long as I really pay attention, I'll be able to slowly work in cardio, keeping the intensity low at first and work it back in, and while still squatting every day. So again, that's a good point to be at. And again, it'll help me on the fat loss a little bit. And I don't think it'll interfere at all with any of my upper body stuff. My bench pressing, I think, is going to keep trucking along now pretty good. But yeah, the weights today, they felt fine, 435. It was a 2.1 second rep on my beltless squat. This is still 405. So I'll live with that. Again, beltless, high bar towards the end of the week. Yeah, 2.1 seconds. We're still nice and fast. So I'll probably go ahead and do a little 5-pound bump next week, and we'll just slowly work this up. And yeah, I will probably not try to bring this up as aggressively as I did my belted thing, because I had weeks where I did 10-pound jumps. Because I did a 5-pound on Monday and it felt light, so I did another 5 Tuesday. You know, we did that a couple different times, made 10-pound jumps in there. And yeah, that let me get to the 485 pretty quick, but it also made it very, very difficult. I probably overextended that. So now that I'm doing back off volume for additional hypertrophy and everything else, and I've switched into the beltless here, I'm going to be a little more conservative with those increases. All right, we're going to be nice and conservative with it because we are deadlifting and stuff every day, and we're going to slowly bring this up. And we'll see if this beltless doesn't hit 500 by the end of the year. That might be interesting. Belted, I don't think would be hard. That wouldn't really be that big of a deal, you know, because I got to 485 and did it 6 days in a row. All right, so we know that's there. That could be pushed up to 500 pretty easily. I feel like training beltless though for a while, and I might train beltless the rest of the year. And if that happens, well, then I'll need to do those jumps. But again, if we look at the math on it, I need a couple of 5-pound jumps. That's it. And everything else can be 2.5. So, you know, might be the way to go. And just micro load my way on up to 500. Beltless. It'd be nice. I've never hit 500 beltless since I was in my 20s, by the way. So, yeah, that would be nice to do. I think that's what I'll shoot for. It wouldn't be bad. And if I don't make it, I don't make it this year. But it'll be close. And either way, I could throw a belt on and hit 500 this year. Definitely. So we'll see where it goes. But yeah, honestly, at this point for me, these back off sets are harder than the peak set. Because again, just that pause and just the deep work it puts in my quads. Just firing out of the hole in my quads at the bottom after these pauses. It's just, oh. But, you know, it will work. This will give me the adaptations I want, and that's the main thing, because this ends up with me doing 6 heavy singles, not counting the 405 ramp up. If we count that, it's 12 heavy singles, and then 12 back off pause triples every week. That's a decent amount of volume, considering it's all at a relatively high RPE. Yeah, we're getting some decent training volume, then factoring in that I'm pulling 5-6 days a week too. Fair amount of lower body stimulation going on there. The benching, my last day benching, I only bench 5 days a week. For those who don't keep up with this, Saturdays I do the press instead of benching. My closing rep benching went good today. Like everything was nice and fast. Nothing was really quite RPE 9. I felt like it was a hair under. So we're going to bump again this next week. We're going up 2.5 pounds. And you know, honestly, I'm hoping I can do that for a little while. Hopefully a couple months. You know, hopefully for a couple months. I'd like to be at 345, maybe up to 350 as a regular pressing single by the end of the year. It would be a nice place to be. But, you know, again, bench press is finicky like that. And if I start losing weight again, which will probably start creeping back down now that I've added cardio back in, the possibility we won't be able to continue that indefinitely. But, you know, I'm going to just train it. I'm going to get enough protein, enough sleep, and we'll see if we can make it happen anyways. You know, it's still a matter of stress recovery, adaptation, enough protein. I have enough body fat that I can still gain strength and muscle while losing body fat, as long as the fat loss is slow enough. It's doable. So yeah, so we'll go with it. But the 325 today, we'll get to that in a second after this ramp up. Actually wasn't bad. Yeah, it was less than an RPE 9. So when we're less than an RPE 9 and it's the last benching day of the week, definitely 100% chance we need to bump the weight next week. So we'll bump 2.5 pounds. Yeah, here this is. But yeah, I'm also getting a good amount of volume here. You know, we're getting the 5 singles and then we're getting 15 pause triples every week. So it ends up being 20 sets of benching and then my 4 or 5 sets of the press. So that's a pretty decent amount of training volume considering they're all effective reps. None of that, if you look at any of the charts, those are all recruiting maximum threshold muscle fibers on every rep. So they're actually pretty high quality sets overall. But yeah, see that 325, that was less than RPE 9. That was less than RPE 9. And for those unfamiliar with the chart, rate of perceived exertion on a 1 to 10 scale. So it's less than 9. So we're good to go. And these 285s, again, as normal, they were just shot right up. All about that titty power. Firing it out of the bottom. And yeah, and again, noting, because again, people occasionally ask, yes, you sink the bar. I believe in sinking that bar. You sink it in and then drive up. And I'm trying to do nice long pauses. It got a little unstable, I think, on 1 or 2 of these reps somewhere in here. I remember that happening. I think we'll see it as we go. And so I kind of get it to stabilize before I press, even if that happens. And it's just because of the closed grip. The closer grip, you know, you can lose a little bit of stability sometimes when I hit the chest. Like if I hit the chest slightly uneven, it kind of can get a little catawampus at the bottom. So I make sure it comes to a complete stop. If that happens, definitely before we press. So taking the nice long pauses ensures that. And, you know, again, boom. See, that one wasn't. That one was nice and clean. Bar bending a little when I hit the bottom. You can get a little bar frat no matter what, especially when you're doing anything with a narrower grip. You know, with any decent amount of weight on the bar, even though that's my highest tensile strength bar. That bar doesn't have a lot of whip. That's a pretty stiff bar, but it will whip a little bit sometimes. So that's one reason I got this one, because my other bar, that black bar, my Olympic bar, is really whippy. So I tend to use it for other stuff, but it has no center knurling, so it's great for, you know, clean snatches, presses. The press. Not all presses, obviously, because this is a press. It's not the press. Although in a lot of people's minds it is, right? So then we got over to deadlift. Today was hook grip day. And I struggled with it. Hook grip has been tough this week. Yes, I did finally get a rep. But I didn't set the hook right. When I did my first 485, because I started messing with it, I'm like, let me see how 485 feels before we decide if we're going to try to go over 500 today. And I lost it halfway up. Like, again, I lost my hook. And it's because I didn't set the hook correctly. I didn't set my thumbs perfectly. And it didn't work out too well for me. So I went ahead and did it a second time, and I got it. So again, all good. But that was the whole thing. It's like I'm going to get a rep with this no matter what. I can't, after I failed all my hooks with 505 earlier this week, in the middle of the week, like on, what was it, Wednesday? Yeah, today's Friday. So on Wednesday I failed those, and it's like I can't keep failing these. I have to get one. And you know, my thumbs are a little tender after. So again, grip has been harder this week. I've struggled a little bit with grip. I've struggled with my thumbs a little bit, and we're going to have those happen. You know, the other stuff is good. The benching has been great. But see, right there, I started losing it. I lost a hook, and I had to turn loose. And for those who don't understand what you mean, when the hook slips, you're basically back over to double overhand. And me pulling double overhand 485 is outside of my limit right now. So the bar starts to roll. Because I just don't have it gripped tight enough. And you can't, once the hook slips, you lose that tightness. So you're not even really as good as you would be with double overhand, because you don't have that thumb over, because that thumb is still underneath. So you're just pulling with your fingertips at that point. But that one I got, locked it, brought it down, all good. And then I said, since my grip has been failing, I wanted to just get 375 for a double overhand instead of trying the 425 again and just hold it for a couple seconds, just for that little bit of extra grip training. But I got that, and it held just fine, and set it back down. So that was today's workout. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.